Uh, hello? Mic check. Mic check. Let me go to my channel real quick. Am I even live? Whoa. It does seem like I'm live. Yeah, we are. Alright, cool. Um, yeah, so basically I'm at my overnight. We're over here. I wanted to talk about some things, or anything really. Well, the first thing I wanted to talk about was I mentioned it on my live on Instagram the other day was indoctrination and how important it is for you and your household to be aligned in multiple ways so that you're not so easily influenced by outside ideas or ideals that may not be aligned with what you want. Sorry about that. Not sure where I should put the lavalier, but that seems fine for right now. Um, yeah, I know a lot of people are probably asleep. It's 2:30 in the morning. I'm just here. I was just thinking, wanted to just go on and see what's up. Um, not sure where that would be. Um, hmm. Well, I could probably do this. Hold on. It's also on Wi-Fi. So that's all right. Um, let's see, what can we do here? If that's there. What was I gonna talk about anyway? It doesn't matter. Hey, you lift? Yeah, I try. Always lifting the world, bro. I don't go to the gym though, so I won't know if I don't know my weight, the weight I can lift. I haven't benched in a while, but I use 25-pound dumbbells quite frequently. Metabolic, I would say, um, yeah, I'm always metabolic. My metabolism is pretty high, actually. I noticed that I can go through things pretty well. Well, I have a good balance of diet and health right now, so I would say, yeah, it is good. On my Instagram, I posted some health tips, some advice that has worked for me. I'm no expert, but one thing I'm trying to do is lead by example and only share what has worked for you and what you applied to your life. You don't want to be somebody who spreads knowledge or advice that you're not even taking in. I think that's hypocritical. Well, not, or not hypocritical, but it's not genuine. It's not, there's no proof of concept. You need to apply these ideas, you need to apply what you're learning. And then when you do share them, when you do bring them up in conversation to try to spread the knowledge, then at least you have a stronger foundation of, is it actually applicable, or when you bring it up you have more knowledge from your experience of applying it. So that's what I'm trying to do with health. Well, thanks, man. Appreciate the sub. I do a lot of gaming on YouTube. So if you go on my lives, it's a lot of Halo. I make videos, so I have some montages. I'm a videographer, so I put out, I'm doing an event. I'm videoing this event this Sunday. It's the second meetup. The first meetup I posted on my YouTube. It's New York City Castle Club meetup. We did a hike, and it's pretty cool because I got to document. It was like 14 of us. We did a hike on the. We're gonna do this event called the Hardest Mile, where we're gonna run one lap. It's gonna be a track. One lap around, we're gonna do burpees. One lap around, we're gonna do bear crawls. One lap around, we're gonna do lunges, and then 4 laps around, full sprint. It's the Hardest Mile challenge, so it should be pretty cool to document. Aren't you glad for the haired king? 4 orange years coming your way. What games I play? I play Halo, Overwatch, but Halo mainly. I mean, I grinded the hell out of Halo. I have montages for every Halo except Halo 1. Um, yeah, it is gonna be pretty serious actually. It's gonna be pretty tough on the hands. There people are gonna wear gloves because the bear crawls and the mountain climbers. I mean, the burpees and the mountain climbers are probably gonna be tough. The bear crawls, whatever you want to call it. Um, and it's a prize pool, so it's a $10 buy-in just to make it fun. And first place is gonna get a certain percentage, and the rest of the money is gonna be going towards future events. So it's gonna be pretty cool. Um, if you do end up checking out the first video, it'll give you an idea of maybe what the second one might be like. And it was my first time like really videoing things and taking photos with my camera. I invested in my equipment recently, so it was pretty cool. Um, using it and putting out a video. It was only 5.5 minutes, but it was the essentials. It got the shots that I wanted. Halo 3 was definitely one of my favorites. I went to a Halo 3 NMLG tournament actually back in the day, 2008, I believe it was, or 2009. It was Halo 3 Meadowlands in Jersey. I believe it was Halo 2009. It could be a little later, but yeah, Halo 3 was cool. Played that a lot. I grinded Halo 2 for a while, then Halo 3, then Halo 4. Reach I played the least of, but I still played it. Halo 5 is I grinded Halo 5 throughout the whole season, and now I'm on Infinite, so it's I always go towards the new one. But if I was to pick right now, my favorite is Infinite. Um, Going back to Halo 3, that would be more for nostalgia. It would be more for just trying to get back some of those old memories. I appreciate you, bro. Yo, have a good night, man. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you be safe and be well. I was actually gonna throw on some beats. Maybe do a little freestyle. Also, it's yeah, I was gonna talk about ideas also, like the way that ideas and creativity, you know, the way I approach it, especially when you have an idea in your head and you wanna kind of put it out there, you want to be able to have a bigger picture of what it is you're actually trying to do, and maybe you'll come close to it. I don't know. Um, for instance, I don't know, my way of learning a song to breakdance to, for instance, I don't know if this works for other people, but what I tend to do is I would listen to to the song that I'm trying. Usually, what would happen is I come across a song, and the song would inspire me to want to dance to it, right? That's usually how it starts. Almost all of my dance videos start that way, where I came across a song at a certain time and I just got inspired by it enough to want to dance to it. So I would listen to that song, let's say, that I'm inspired by at the moment. I would listen to it on repeat, like throughout the day. All I would listen to is that song. And I would memorize every note, every time, every transition, every moment that I thought stood out in order to accentuate it more when I would try to dance to it. And I don't know, it worked for me because then when I would go to to try to record a dance, I would not necessarily have a choreography, so it would be freestyling. So since I've listened to the song so much, it's second nature almost. Like the song isn't really coming at me. I kind of already know where the song is going. So I'm able to kind of be more focused on the dancing aspect of it. And when it's freestyle, you kind of need to be thinking ahead. As you're doing a move, you want to be able to think of how it leads into the next move, or since I'm not a professional dancer, another thing I think about a lot when I do dance is, am I repeating myself a lot? Is this repetitive? Am I doing too much of the same movement? So if you memorize the song already, you kind of don't even have to worry about the song. You just necessarily start just thinking about what moves you want to do. And I never had the training of formal dancing, but I would assume that that's why they have mirrors. I never really danced in front of mirrors. Every time I danced was in front of a camera only. So I would only get the feedback from rewatching it to see how it was. So I would constantly record multiple songs in one session or multiple times in one session in order to see the best version of, because each time I would get better after reflecting it. But because if there was a mirror there, you're able to see, man, I'm always on my right side, or there's no symmetry. I noticed that when you're dancing, you want to have symmetry. You kind of want to, if you're doing something on the right, you want it to lead into the left at some point in order to keep the stage frame, the dynamic of the dance in frame. So it's good to already have the song memorized. This way you're not wasting brain fuel or brain energy on also worrying about where the song is going and trying to think of a dance to do with the with that part of the song. So I noticed that when I would try to dance and when I was making the dance videos, memorizing the song was just the best thing to do. And it would also, I would simulate in my head moves to the song. I would try to think of choreography in my head to the song already, or at least what I think would look cool. And sometimes that doesn't execute exactly as you would think or as you would want. Same thing with drawing. I wish that the ideas and images I had in my head, I wish I was able to translate that into drawings. That is a superpower, I believe, if you're able to do that. But I'm not able to do that with drawing. But with dancing, it's a little more tangible. It's a little bit more. able to be similar to what I imagine, I can actually sometimes execute it. So that's pretty good to simulate. This way when I go to dance, it's not so much the first time I'm trying to put this together. It's like I've put it together in my head and I'm just trying to put it together at once for the video, because I've noticed sometimes when the first video that I would go to record would be the best because I would have all of my energy, I would have all of my fresh ideas. It would be the first few videos that are the best. And then it starts to become repetitive, or I would start to lose, I don't know what it would be, like flow state energy. I don't know. There's a flow state to it where some of the best dance videos that I've made, it was like from days of recording and trying out the song already, and then I would start fresh from rewatching those earlier videos, and then I would restart fresh on another day, and sometimes that video would be the banger because I've rewatched kind of the feedback of what I look like to that song, and then when I go record on a fresh day, that first video on that day usually is the video I tend to post or tend to like. Sometimes though, on the practice runs, I'll come out with a pretty decent um, sequence where maybe the beginning half of one of the videos is actually better than something I produced later on. So I would try to mash those videos together. And when it comes to freestyling, like in rap, let's say, same thing. I listen to the beat constantly, and throughout the day, I'm just constantly thinking of punchlines, thinking of something to say, to the beat. And let's see if we can just freestyle right now. I mean, why not? I don't know how it's gonna catch with the mic and how the audio is gonna be, but there's a there's a lot of beats I've saved, so let's see. Wait, why is this? The categories are all messed up. Let me go to music. Let's see. Where's that beat at? It wouldn't be under music, it'd be under instrumentals. So like now I have beats that are like my favorite, and I don't know why they're not coming out though. I have listened to nothing but beats lately, and now they're not coming up on my suggested, so I gotta go look for this one. Hold on. Alright, here we go.
Live free, eat Sonic.
I wonder how this is gonna sound. You know what it is with beats, you know how I slay it. Come and check it out, you know your boy is in the rapture. Every time I do it, record it because it captures the moment in the time when yes I reach divine. And every time I do it, yes, automatic with the rhymes. I come and do it, you know how I stay on truest. And you know evidence, man, I don't even have to prove it. Come and give me chance, opportunity, I light it up. Understand with me there is only one sign I'm fighting of. Come and check it out, the passion is endless. And every time I get on the beat, man, it's always stupendous. I come and check it out, man, the box list is ready. And every time I do it, got it aimed and it's steady. I'm always shooting from the hip, the mic is fully gripped. Understand reality might begin to slip. You see the dose you took, the psilocybin trance. Every time I do it, you know how I gotta take the chance. Sorry that with me I might be looking at the glance. Every time I'm looking at the sun, I'm sorry with the flash. Every chance I get, you know I'm making moves on the cash. You know what it is, I'm making room. You know how I slap. I don't know. But I kind of lose it for a second. Am I still live?
light it up. Understand with me there is only one sign I'm fighting of. Come and check it out.
Okay, so it sounds alright. It sounds alright, guys. Let's see, let's see. Um, that's one of my favorite. What about this
Thanks
one?
to this waterfront hotel on Booking.com, even Yankees fans are loving Boston.
Oh, no, we're keeping.
Okay. Okay. Hey yo, what you think about me? It might be Geronimo. Always going after river, looking with this cash flow. Come and see it how it is, you know, with the heavy glow. Supernova, sorry man, you know how I'm about to blow. Like the dynamite, a stick nut explosion. Every time he does it, you know, leave him with erosion. You know, man, I'm earthquaking, scale on the Richter. And sorry with me problems, I'm not making them thicker. I'm only solving, looking for solutions in pollution. Every time he does it, sorry man, I'm only moving crucial. Every time I do it, my step is bone toned. Every time he does it, you know you cannot leave me alone. I might get bored and might just make a few clones and might scatter around the world. You know how I might just turn and be the villain in the storyteller. Every time I do it, sorry man, I might not be a dweller, but I've been lacking, I've been on my mode. Every time I've been broken, you know how I change the code. Come check me out, I'm on the corner ready every day. You know what it is on the beat, I will always slay. I come and carry heavy weight like is it in tons. Every time I do it, I freestyle, man, it is for fun. I'm sorry that with me ain't no lightweight. I come and do it, sorry that I might be great. And you know when you put me in categories, it's phenomenal. You know when I spit it's coming from my abdominals. Sorry that with me my chest spoken, man it's open. I got my heart on my sleeve and no it's not broken. I come and use it like a lightsaber when I'm slashing. I'm sorry with me like a bank, you know, always cashing. Yes, I got the checks, my box list is full, and every time he does it, you know, my brain is the finest tool. And sorry that I might leave y'all with those full drools, and you know what it is, I'm leaving you like a monsoon. Super heavy wet, no, I'm not in a jet, but I'm in a light speed, you know, you cannot regret. Once in the movement, you know, man, you gotta not lose it. I'm sorry with me, I'm over here just choosing. I'm looking like Neo, man. Where's my Morpheus? I'm over here just torching. You know how I might just leave this mess. Y'all caught that? I will do it more.
Cornflakes good? Very great.
Nah, there was other beats. Hold on. Not. How about this one? Oh, this one. This one. Hold on. Hold on. Oh. So what you thought about my talent that has reached this peak? Understand with me it's only lyrics that I'll always speak. Every time I reach it, you know, man, I see my goals. Always in the arm's length, you know, man, I will story fold. Man, I'm like a gory story that ain't never told. Sorry that the demon in me freestyle forever. My shoulder blades are coming corrected with heavy weapons. Every time I what I break down like in every segment. I'm sorry that in every category I might be the story every time he does it. I'm sorry that it might seem a bit gory the way I lay it down. Sorry that it is profound. I'm sorry that around you y'all seem like clowns. Every time I'm intellectually just above. I'm sorry that if I not quit cause ain't no glove that can fit. Every time I try to lift and heavy grip. I'm sorry that the mic is lightsaber when I slip. I'm sorry when I slash and I'm sorry that I'm making moves. Every time I do it, sorry entering, you just gonna lose. Turn around and go home, save your ego. And every time I do it, you know, man, there is no sequel. I'm the final four, man, I might be the finalist. And every time I do it, you know, man, this ain't no fellowship. Never gonna teach, I take it to the grave, this talent. And every time I do it, man, the handles when I grab it. I'm the ship, the captain, and yes, I'm gonna take it to a place, you know, man, you can never fake it. You can never fake it, yes, there's no mistaking. Every time I'm always making moves, you know that I'ma take it. And yes, if I make errors, but there ain't no burnt bridges. I'm sorry that with me, I'm over here just going for the riches. Every time I do it, you know, man, I might leave with some stitches from this life. And it's okay because there is always gonna be some strife. And if you're not going for what's not comfortable, then what it is that you're going, you're gonna be easy to fold. What's this one like?
We thought this was.
Oh, let me listen to this real quick.
Finite or quick, cause ain't no glove that can fit. Every time I try to lift a heavy grip, I'm sorry that the mic is lightsaber when I slip. I'm sorry when I slash and I'm sorry that I'm making moves. Every time I do it, sorry entering, you just gonna lose. Turn around and go home.
And now we're just standing here. It is late. It is late. Yeah, I'm kind of done with that actually.
If you have other opportunities, you're better off putting that energy into those things than you are just
That was
full
cool
time.
though for a moment. I'm watching David Green Returns on Fresh and Fit, real estate guy. He has some pretty interesting ideas. Yeah, so it's really important to understand, like, if you guys are watching me, like, it's cool to like take a break and stuff, but always be learning something. Always try to improve in some way. Always practice a skill. Always try to do something. Because the last thing you want to do is just be doom scrolling. And even if it means you're not watching me, you know, it's not about that. Um, Always work on something. And I think that that's what, like, I wanted to start this live and kind of talk about indoctrination and talk about how, like, all basically corporations, media companies, industries, corporations, right? Like, all of these things kind of are incentivized to want you to think a certain way or have certain beliefs or buy certain products, and because they want you to spend your money on them and on what they deem to be what you need to get. So when it comes to trying to influence people to buy into you, you can influence them pretty deeply, even to their ideas and their ideals, where sometimes they can argue something where they don't even know the full depth of the argument. They just know what they've been told has been the truth and what you should be arguing for. Meanwhile, it's really not anything that you should be worried about. I mean, because the reality is it probably is pointless. There's probably something more serious to worry about rather than that that example would be. Um, the easiest thing that I can think about in this realm, right, is the idea of, let's say, gender, um, and the roles of gender, and the natural biological tendencies that genders tend to have, right? And if you're gonna ask me, and the fact that this might be controversial is interesting because the people that would be offended technically make up a small percentage of what I'm about to say, where I think that there is two genders, right? Female and male. Now, there could be some argument where even in some Native American tribes they had a third gender, or you can say that even ladyboys in Thailand or in those Asian countries where they allow, um, they're considered a third gender technically, but they're, biologically they probably were still one or the other, right, at birth. So, but these questions about sex and about gender, I think that it doesn't belong anywhere near what a child should be learning. And again, I talk about indoctrination. When you bring up education and when you bring up curriculum, or who is actually in charge of what the kids are learning, it gets pretty nefarious. It gets pretty interesting to point out that it might be manipulated. It might be to be a certain way on purpose. And I think that that purpose is to make people just workers and not thinkers. And there's a lot of psychology that goes into schools and curriculum, and there's a lot of things that science has learned from, even a small example from painting the color of a classroom a certain color of the walls can promote learning more naturally. Keeping it a certain temperature. There are certain things that they know that will help you sit there and absorb what they're trying to teach you. And then what the quality of that is, who knows, right? I mean, it's not their incentive to make you Einsteins. They want you to just be smart enough to do the task that they want you to do and not ask questions, and that's it. And be happy with the salary, be happy you go to a job, and that's it. But I think that what life skills do most people come out of school with? What life skills do most people, you know, get out of life with? And it's getting pretty close to the morning, but why is this person here? I don't like when people park in the driveway. I am still at work. Ah, I see who it is. Anyway.
Thank you, my friend.
You're welcome. Welcome home. Yeah, gotcha.
Have a good night.
You too, thank you. Oh, that's an email. No, I'm just joking. Right, so now, who has the time to dive into what curriculum is, where that started, who has the time to dive into almost any of these topics, really. I mean, who really has the time to look into deep politics or, what's really going on? It's very difficult when you're trying to balance surviving essentially in today's world by just taking care of the basics, the necessities, your bills, eating, roof. And in order to cover that, it takes time from your day, from your week, from your month, from your year. Time you're not investing in yourself if you're not smart about it, I guess. And they want you to be in that perpetual cycle of not being able to dive into things, to not be able to look into what they're telling you is just truth and facts, and trust us in the suits and the white coats, and we know more than you do, and that's it. And they want you to not question things, right? They want you to just accept and just fully put your faith in the fact that they're doing something for your well-being, and that just has been proven to not be the case over and over. So what ends up happening is, if you do have the time, if you are curious about these things, you dive into them. And the road that leads to tends to be pretty repetitive, or at least the same. It seems to be a very coordinated situation that we're in. It's not like by accident that things are the way that they are. It's not by accident that there's incompetency, in government or in institutions. It's human nature, right? It's humans that are kind of in these bodies that sometimes have massive power over another group of people. So once you start seeing these things, you're not going to be able to be in the same reality that you were in before, I would say. And what I would say is, when you dive into these things and you don't want to just be the same person that is like in that same, I mean, if you're on the outside of it and you're looking in, you don't want to be those people that are locked in. And I still am too sometimes, right? I tend to go on Instagram sometimes. I'll scroll around. They want you trapped. But indoctrination, right? That's what I was getting at. Netflix, Disney, hip hop, music, movies, TV shows, the news, newspapers, radio, sports. I mean, those are all tools for indoctrination. And it just seems very clear that there's an agenda. There's an agenda that's being pushed. There's an agenda going towards a certain direction. There's an agenda that is setting up this narrative that seems new. It doesn't seem like it's what has been natural for most of human existence. And I'm so baffled by how it's so accepted nowadays, like all of this in the kid's face, and how it's celebrated, this debauchery, the degeneracy, it's celebrated. It's so crazy to me how it's accepted or cheered upon or praised. And I'm pointing it out. I'm not gonna just sit back and be another consumer. I try not to consume that stuff, or at least I try not to let it be such a big part of what takes up my fuel. And that could be my brain fuel, right? Like you only have a certain amount of hours in the day, you only have a certain amount of energy in your body, you only have a certain amount of things that you can do. So why are you going to spend, let's say in a month, you're going to spend 30 hours or 15 hours of it watching a show or I'm sorry. These overnights around 3 to 4 get pretty challenging. But that's why I went live so I can like just keep myself up talking or something. But the yawns are real. Um I'm not crying, guys. I'm not crying. But yeah, so I think it's important to understand like what you're thinking about and why where your ideas come from. And you should know where they derive from. You should know what they mean. You should know what you're saying. You should know where what example you're leading. You know, a simple thing like let's say you have a kid and you have a smoking habit and you know that kids absorb and they're like sponges, they take on traits, they look at their parents as like, you know, that's who they're gonna follow. And imagine if you just openly smoke in front of them, you openly drink in front of them, you make it almost like if it's okay, and they grow up thinking it's okay, and they lead by that, they learn from that. So let's make it something small because I even think that it all matters, you know. So if you're gonna have cereal, you know, in the home and you're eating it, if you're gonna have junk like Doritos, you're gonna have things around. It's almost like you're saying it's okay to have it. So why are you gonna introduce it? Like when I see a kid like drinking Coca-Cola, like I literally was standing here one time and I saw like a baby. He must have been like 4, like just started walking, like you know one of those like 3, 4, and he's like holding like one of those like soda bottles, right? And it wasn't like a ginger ale or like a seltzer. No, it was like Coca-Cola, like, you know, the worst of the worst, high fructose, glucose, you know, color, whatever. And like he's just drinking it. Like at his age, he shouldn't be consuming junk, you know? Like think about like the base you want your kids to start off at. Do you want them to start off at a base of like eating junk? Like if you have a car, are you gonna put like if you buy a brand new car, are you gonna put bad quality stuff in the engine? It just doesn't make sense to me. And then it's like that's learned behavior, you know, that's learned. The parents are buying that, they're the ones consuming that as well, and it's all example, right? It's all part of it. It's all like it all matters, and I don't get how people don't see that. So when I bring up like fluoride or something like that, or you know, I think it matters, and I think that the more people that pay attention to it will easily understand that it does matter. But it is what it is. Wow. So I guess yeah, I guess it makes sense that there's not that many people watching because it is a Monday night, you know, work week, school week. You know, who would be up watching this? So maybe reposting it or clipping it up. I could probably clip it up when I was doing some of the freestyles. I think I had a few little moments there. Um, I should be editing. I should be making that video real quick. Let's see. I'll let it charge actually. Well, I also thought this is pretty much it for the most part because it seems like is a Zoom meeting room? Oh, re-upload. That was from Mo. Yeah, it's gonna be cool, man. We're gonna this Sunday we're gonna have this event. I'm watching David Green's return on FNF. If you guys want to watch that. Mhm. No, I think this was a good talk, but I think I'm gonna get off right now because there's not really much that's gonna happen. So, peace out, guys.